Operation Fatherhood here, back with another quick video to all the brothers and sisters out there everywhere. Sitting outside of Orleans on Carroll Street in Perry, Georgia. Let me just say the food was wonderful and delicious. So if you're ever in Middle Georgia, stop in Perry, Georgia, in Orleans. You know, it's a recipe for disaster when you mix ignorance with more ignorance. So when you have ignorant folks that get together and mix it up with ignorant folks, you end up having an abundance of issues, and it is a recipe for disaster and all kinds of chaos. So we had to be very, very careful that we don't just go off and make decisions worse by adding in ignorance to it and anger, because again, that makes it much more worse. Then another sad thing about the Montgomery River Walk video brawl, quote unquote, what makes it worse is that you have people rooting on the ignorance, right? And that's kind of the one thing I think we have to make sure we remember as well as not being ignorant, right? We have to make sure that we're not easily entertained by ignorance, and therefore then root on the ignorance as if it is something to be proud of when it is not. That was one of the saddest things to me about watching the Montgomery Riverwalk brawl video is, again, you know, I don't live in Alabama anymore, but I am from there. When I was a kid growing up, you know, people always talked about, you know, I had cousins of mine in Georgia that looked at Alabama like, man, it's so racist over there and things of that nature. And that's the thing I think about too, is that, you know, people make decisions that they don't think about in the long run. Like, I'm a Caucasian guy joining in with other Caucasian guys jumping an African American guy. So even if those guys weren't or are not racist, now you make yourself look like a racist because you joined in jumping a lone African American person. That was just foolish. But then you had people in the video who were behind the camera or cell phone or whatever it was, rooting on other African Americans jumping in on it, and then chairs coming out and hitting people. And that's what I said before. We have to be very careful that we're not easily entertained by ignorance and foolishness, because it ultimately doesn't benefit any of us. Something to think about.